In an earlier lab, you did a live packet capture and saved the file. In this lab, we are going to show you the different options that you have for saving your file, and we're also going to talk about how to mark and ignore packets and also export packets. This is a very important lab because it will give you the skill sets to extract subsets of your packet capture that you can then use for further analysis, and also be able to take those packets into other tools that your organization might be using. Please go ahead and open Wireshark and select your packet capture that you did in an earlier lab. Then go to the main menu where File and select Save As. Notice that in the Save As type, the default is the native file type PCAP-NG, which stands for Next Generation. If you select the little chevron on the side, you can see the other formats that you may wish to save your file in. So for instance, if you wanted to import this into a Microsoft NetMon environment, you could select these options here. Similarly, if you wanted to open a file in, let's say, Sniffer, you might want to give it a file extension of cap. I'd recommend that you use the default of PCAP-NG because PCAP-NG has a couple of advantages over the historical PCAP. For example, in PCAP-NG, the capture will actually store information about the interface that you captured that traffic over. And so if you are combining multiple packet captures into one file, you'll be able to distinguish between packets across different interfaces. And what I particularly like with PCAP-NG, you can insert comments into the packet capture, which can be very important if you want to save it for later use or share it with your colleagues. As we have already saved our file, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this. The next thing I want to show you is how to mark packets. I'm just going to get rid of my bytes pane. So I'm going to bring this down so you can see multiple packets. And in packet 1, I can right click it and select mark the packet, and you'll see that it's colored it. Similarly here, I'm going to go down to packet 4 and mark that packet. And so you can see now that it's much easier for me to see those packets. And that is the purpose for marking the packets, is that when you have a very large packet capture like we have here with over 14,000 packets, this enables me to scroll through it very quickly and still be able to see those packets that are marked. Click to go back to the top of the packet capture. If you want to unmark a packet, again you can right click it and select unmark. Similarly here, you can notice that when I right click, there is also a hotkey, so you can use Control M to mark a packet or to unmark a packet. In addition to marking packets, you can ignore packets. So let's say I've done some analysis and I've decided that these are 2 packets that I wish to mark, and these packets here I wish to ignore. So I can say ignore the packet. Notice when I ignore it, it's now grayed out. So these can be really useful techniques, and please do practice with them. The next feature I want to show you is how to export packets. So if you select File in the main menu and then come down to Export Specific Packets, you can see that I can still export using a range of different file formats, just like with the save option, but now I have this new option which allows me to specify a packet range. I can say that I want to export all of the packets or the last selected packet, so the one I currently have highlighted in the capture. I can say I want to export the packets that I have marked, and as you've seen, I've marked 2 packets, so it's illustrating that. And what is really nice is I can define the first to the last marked packets. So let's say I've gone through a packet capture and I've marked the packets that are of interest, and now I just want to export those marked packets. I can export the one that I first marked and all the others I've marked all the way to the last marked. What is also very nice is I can specify a range. So I can say, hey, I'd like to have packets 10 to 19, and so that will export those 10 packets. packets into a separate file. Notice here as well I have an option to remove the ignored packets. If I have a packet capture and I want to say, okay, these are not relevant, I can also delete those from my exported packet capture. So this can be incredibly useful technique if you're wanting to take a subset of your packet capture so that you can perhaps show your management or your fellow colleagues exactly what's happening within the packet capture without them having to see packets that are not relevant to the issue that you're dealing with. So I'm going to go ahead and export those, and I'm going to give it a name, extract issue 1. Select save, and that is then saved. So a couple of things I want to show you. First, if I go ahead and close this file and reopen it, notice that the marked packets and the ignored packet information is no longer shown. In other words, that information is displayed while you're analyzing the packet capture, but the marked and ignored packets is not saved as part of the metadata when you close your file. So that information will be lost. Now let's go ahead and open our exported file, and I'll just scroll down a bit and you can see that I have indeed captured the 10 packets from the previous file. If you look in the status bar, you can see I now have 10 packets in this packet capture. So in this demonstration you have learned that you can save your files with different formats, so you can import them into different tools. You have learnt the basis of analysis in terms of marking and ignoring packets, and you have learnt that you can easily export packets that are relevant to you so you can focus in and share that information with your colleagues.